This is Matt with LSAT Cracked. We're going to discuss two extremely important relationships under the umbrella of conditional statements. Now, I'm singling these two out for extra attention for two reasons. One, they're difficult and students mess them up quite a bit. But even more importantly, the frequency with which you see these is quite high, especially on logic games. So mastering these is going to help you on both logical reasoning as well as logic games. The first concept is the notion of an either-or statement. For example, tomorrow morning for breakfast, I will either have eggs or oatmeal. The number one thing I want you to remember is this. Either or only establishes a minimum of one. It's entirely allowable that I have both eggs and oatmeal for tomorrow's breakfast. Now, that might not be how you're used to using that term in normal colloquial English when you speak with your friends, but on the LSAT, just remember this. An either-or relationship always establishes a minimum, a floor, a baseline of one. One for sure, possibly two, but at least one. The only thing that's being eliminated is the idea of zero. So the way you would diagram that is, if I don't have eggs, I know for sure I'm going to have oatmeal. Contrapositive, if no oatmeal, I must have eggs. Notice that when you have one of the two positively, you have eggs or you have oatmeal, you're in the necessary condition, so you don't know anything. The second key rule is a not both statement, and it's the exact opposite of an either-or rule. Let's say tomorrow for dessert, I am not allowed to have both chocolate cake and cherry pie. That simply means if I have one of the two, I am not allowed to have the other one. So now we're establishing a maximum of one. It's entirely possible that I just have no dessert at all. But if I have one of the two, then I'm not allowed to have the other one. So now I'm establishing a maximum of one. Lastly, think about what would happen if we combined both of these. If I said Amy must either study Russian or Spanish next semester, but not both, I've now used an either-or statement establishing a minimum of one with a not both statement establishing a maximum of one. When that happens, we're selecting exactly one of the two of them. So for a logic game, that would likely work out to be R/S in the game with S/R out of the game. You have two scenarios. One where she studies Russian but not Spanish. One where she studies Spanish but not Russian. If you can master the correct use of either or and not both statements, you're going to improve on both logical reasoning and logic games.